Hey everybody, in this video we have the messages for the collective. We've got yellow flowers coming up, which mean different things depending on the flower. We've got number sequences, we've got hawk, and we've got nest. So let's get right to it because there's always lots to cover.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome to Mystic Light Warriors. I'm a divinely guided intuitive here sharing my soul's journey, helping you with your own intuitions and maybe passing on a message or two that you probably need to hear. So let's get right to it because there's always lots to cover. Hey everybody. Okay, so sorry, this message is going to be coming out a little bit late. When life wants to life, it's going to life. So there were lots of messages that were coming in the other day. In particular, we saw hawk come through again. And so the spiritual meaning of hawk is independence and creativity, protection, intelligence, spiritual awareness and power, and versatility. Now, depending on how you see hawk, is it flying in the sky? Is it perched in a tree? What shape are the wings taking? So when hawk is perched in a tree just sitting, it's understand the benefits of proper timing and implement it in life. But if he's flying up and he's got his wings up in that V shape, that's telling you need to rise up and raise your observation skills. Try and see things from that higher perspective. And that's usually where we go when we think of hawk meaning, because it has that general connotation no matter how you see it. Now, if you see it soaring, where its wings are straight out, that one actually is calling you to use your intuition before you make any important decisions. Hawk's main symbolism is pay attention to everything that is happening in your life and stay focused. We also had a few other things come up. We had yellow flowers were coming into play. Now, depending on the flower, it has different meanings as well. So for instance, daffodil symbolizes new beginnings and a dandelion courage. But a carnation can symbolize disappointment. So where are you seeing yellow in your life? Now, some of the other things that were coming up was blue crayfish, and specifically blue. And that one came up quite oddly too. They actually happen to be relatively rare, which I did not know. So because of that factor, they can be seen as a symbol of uniqueness, resilience, and the potential for transformation. Now, because of the rarity, it can also symbolize a sign of something special or a need to be open to new opportunities. Now, we've also had black feather come through, which is associated with spiritual protection, strength, and a connection to the unknown. It can also symbolize mourning and a connection to the earth and the fertile soil from which life emerges. They're also seen as a shield against negative forces, the ability to face challenges, and a symbol of the mysteries of the universe and the unseen. So when we take those things, we can apply it to different parts of our life, knowing that there's something coming in right now. So in light of some of the messages that were coming through, and I got a clear vision of specific oracle cards. So one of the cards was a nest on it, and I knew what deck they were showing me, but I wasn't quite sure of what the card was. And so the card that has a nest on it would be spring. Spring is rebuilding, awakening, and rebirth. And that's right along line with what we were saying about transformation. There's also been a lot of caterpillar, and caterpillar is also a known symbol of transformation. The card meaning for spring is the awakening of the earth is always inspiring. New life is on the horizon and can be invigorating to witness the stirring of energy after a long rest. Spring tells you it's time for new beginnings. It's the perfect time to launch a new project, or if there are things previously put on hold, spring card suggests it's now an auspicious time to revisit them. You'll bring a refreshed perspective to this project and a new level of energy that you didn't have before. Perhaps all that was needed was a new approach after some time away and a new burst of motivation and determination. Is there a project you want to launch that you've previously ignored? Now's the time to do so. The next card that came out is bird, which is freedom and opportunity. So birds, just like hawk, tell us that we can soar. Conversely, many bird species are tied to a food source, so they're interconnected with the local land and its energies. Finding a balance between those extremes is where the challenge lies. And then, of course, migration. So there's an element of sacrifice that we're being called to make, moving from the known into the unknown, from the familiar into the unfamiliar, and trusting your intuition and trusting that divine's got your back in that. Isn't it apropos that a bird just shows up soaring behind my head right when we're reading about that? So it also tells you new opportunity is close by. So lift your head past your current focus and look around for it. A bird's eye view might reveal something you may otherwise never known about. Are you struggling to change your mindset and start something new? I pulled another card just because it seemed apropos with the yellow on it. So the card pulled is summer, which talks about expansion and growth. Summer is bursting with energy, the sun is high, the weather's warmer, the nights are shorter. There's increased growth for all living things. But this energy and unrestricted growth can get out of hand. And I just saw 11:11 on the clock. We've also got some numbers. I'll put them up on the chat right off the hop. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5, 10, 10, 11:11 we just had. And the 5s are always ringing lately. The 5s symbolizing that change that's coming in. We already know that. So the 5s are, of course, another one too. 2s have also been around, actually, come to think of it. We're getting a lot of 2s lately. Increased growth means increased attention is required to manage your project so you ensure everything unfolds properly. Summer card means it's an optimal time for expansion, but also tells you to keep an eye on the energies in your life so they stay focused and productive. If you don't tend your garden, it will become overgrown and scraggly. Some endeavors will fail as others overshadow them like a vine strangling a beautiful plant. What parts of life can you expand to feel more fulfilled? Okay, so we're going to pull a couple more cards. We're going to pull them from a different deck though, because this deck wanted to come through. Okay, so these literally just jumped out of my hand. And here we are with the yellow again. So card number 27, may sweet and soft things find you. Harmony, ease, inner child softness. You're going through a major transformation right now, major rebirth, major changes have been happening around you lately. There's no question there. You need to give yourself that space and that time, and give your inner child that time too, because again, you know, we talked about in the last video about how important play was in our healing journey. And so that inner child needs to feel safe. And one of the ways you can make that inner child feel safe is reintroducing play. So the affirmation spell for that card is, I appreciate and attract sweetness into my life. A beautiful harmony, the perfect pair, the flower that provides the sweet nectar and the bee that provides the nourishing pollination. Both have so much to teach us. They're lighthearted, bringing beauty and flow with the natural rhythm of life. They're warm with golden hues. They appreciate the balance and offerings that each one provides. Magic happens when true harmony is achieved through delightful processes and the law of the least effort. Some of the most beautiful things seem to exist effortlessly, in tune with the forces that be. So what if, like bee, you were to seek out the sweetness of life? And isn't that what we're doing when we're talking about playing with our inner child and allowing that side of us to come out? So what if you sought out the flowers of the world, leaning more to what is soft and attracts your spirit and brings you joy? What if that led you to more growth and potential and peace, rather than the daily grind of forcing, disciplining, and controlling? What if, like flower, you offer your own natural sweetness up to life instead? What if that would attract the bee, the right people, the opportunities, the actions and pollination that your life needs, without having to strain to be what you think the world wants you to be? What if what's truly needed in this world is more softness, kindness, love, joy, ease, and magic? What a beautiful message that one is. Okay, so the next card that came out is actually the very next in the deck, which is number 28. It's the Dark Night of the Soul. And so this is what we've been discussing, right? The transformation, the awakening tower that we've got happening. But what we've got with this card is they're sort of giving you the hint to go easier on yourself, because you are going through such major transformation right now. So perhaps that childlike nature and the spiritual wonder and the playfulness that we need to bring out more will help us open up instead of closing down, create and live and love from that playful place. So do something with the inner child joy that would light them up. Think back to what used to spark you up and do that. Now the Dark Night of the Soul coming in is transformation, awakening power, and warrior. The affirmation spell is, in darkness, I can cultivate my light. So now this card is the Tower card, really. The deepest cave, the endless desert. The Dark Night of the Soul is the extreme challenges, whether internal or external or both. It's the fight with the dragon and the monsters in your head, the demons in your life, the confusion. And we're absolutely going through this right now. We've been talking about this lately, about the April energy is definitely a little bit heavy and chaotic. And it's not about to get easier, which is why they're telling us to bring in that lightness and that play with the inner child. So this card is calling us to have the deepest transformations possible, whether that's a reconstruction of your life, values, or self. These periods of time take us to a hell of sorts, and it can be quite painful. It strips us down. We have no choice but to face it, but we earn our gifts in this place. Our new self is forged in that fire of transformation. We can do more than just survive. We can become the light that we so desperately need. Rise from the ashes and become that phoenix. We can awaken the powerful truth of our own being. So this card confirms that you're experiencing an evolution of your soul. Maybe you're still going through it. Maybe you've already finished. Maybe you're finally coming out the other side. Either way, you're feeling that stirring of your soul, that call for more. So take a moment to reflect on how some of the darkest periods of your life probably led you to some of the most profound changes within you. How they led you to deeper understandings of your strengths or awakenings. Honor yourself for making it through them. Knight yourself. Recognize the sword that you now carry or will soon earn. Remember, you're strong enough to get through this. And you're never really alone. And the next card is card number 13, Rebirth. So this talks about shedding the chrysalis and taking risks. It also talks about the unknown. So the affirmation spell for this card is I release all that does not serve me and I embrace the new. So this card is just reaffirming that call for new that our soul is asking for. This one is talking about, that transformation that we've been discussing. Not everyone is going to be coming with you on your journey. Some of those people you're going to have to leave behind. You're moving forward and not everybody is. We are all on our own paths and we're not here to judge anyone or to hinder anybody else's progress. What we're here to do is learn ourselves from our own perspectives. You can read as many books as you want. You can listen to as many podcasts as you want. Even my comments. At the end of the day, the only one's opinion that really matters is your own. So trust that you're in a period of great transformation right now, and it's time. Ask Spirit for the bravery and guidance it takes to fully navigate and surrender to your rebirth. This is how we can get the ultimate potential of it. To let it be what it's meant to be, however that process may look or however long it may take. You're going to need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, with thinking and being in new ways, with making new and different choices, with living in unfamiliar territory, taking risks. The old ways are no longer serving you. Lead with more of your soul and less of your ego. Okay, and how apropos. Card number 29, the blood moon. Let go. So firstly, this card talks about the blood moon, which is also known as the shedding moon, 10 colds moon, and winterfelleth. During the blood moon, the changes upon the earth show the first signs of winter. The trees change colors and all that live upon the land start to prepare for the cold months to come. It's a time of adjustments as we begin to let go of the warmer days. Now we must prepare for the harder times to come. So full blood moon is calling us to let go. If you take a look on the card, you can see the mother breaking away from her old self. You can see that shadow fading behind her. This is her letting go of the past and everything that haunts her soul so she can move forward with the child inside of her. So drawing this card says that it's time to let go of the past. That's the person that you used to be. And although that self has allowed you to become the person you're today, you no longer need that version of yourself. So this card can also represent that it's a perfect opportunity to release a negative factor in your life. This could be a person or a habit that harms your happiness or your sense of self. What do you need to set free? All right, everyone. If you're new here, thanks for coming in. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Hope that helped. And as always, if you've liked the content you've seen today, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what hit for you, what didn't hit for you, what are your practices,